I kind of expected this to go the way it did. So, not necessarily really surprised. Well, without further ado, Hawks lose 5-3 to the Carolina Hurricanes on the road. Real quick before we get into the review, can I say I love the Hurricanes Whalers jerseys? I'm actually really happy that they do end up embracing their history as the Hartford Whalers because the Hartford Whalers have been most widely known for being the defunct franchise that's missed the most in the NHL, actually. People miss the Hartford Whalers the most. I'm going to guess that's partially because they moved to Carolina and became Carolina Hurricanes. Yeah, they have a Stanley Cup under their belt, but it's Carolina. It's a southern area. This wasn't the case for something like Quebec to Colorado, where once they moved to Colorado and became the Avalanche, they had immediate success winning 2 cups in their first 5 years of existence, including winning the cup in their first year in Colorado. Anyways, Whalers Night is pretty cool. Let's talk about the game that they wore these uniforms in, shall we? What do you know? A pretty boring first period. Where have we seen this before this season? But about 15 minutes into the period, after a really boring first 15 minutes, mind you, the Hurricanes get a goal. On a goal from Nino Niederreiter, a former player for the Minnesota Wild. They're still playing. Did you know that Nino Niederreiter is still playing for the Hurricanes? I actually did know, but did you? Anyways, Jacob Slavin's in the back after a dump out or a clear attempt, gets it to Niederreiter, makes a nice little move, and is able to beat Lankinen. So that's a bit rough. But, 1-0. It's the Hurricanes. They're a much better team than the teams we've played recently. So, first intermission, 1-0 Hurricanes. Pretty boring first period, if you ask me. Early in the second period, though, the Hurricanes get another goal. And this time, it's Vincent Trocheck. After Bean finds it on his stick, he passes it back to Vincent Trocheck. He buries it past Lankinen. I honestly did forget that Vincent Trocheck was on Hurricanes, not the Panthers this year. Because I had known him as a Panthers player. But he got traded to the Hurricanes this year, and he puts it in the back of the net. So, 2-0 Hurricanes. Pretty boring middle section of the second period, if you ask me. Again, not really that good. But when we get to the latter end of this second period, we get, oh my goodness. So Jacob Slavin takes a shot on Kevin Lankinen. He beats him, but hits the far post, and as it comes out, Alex DeBrincat just has to turn around and whack at it, basically, and it gets open for guess who? Patrick Kane. He is up in front with only one Hurricanes defender to beat. The unfortunate thing is that Kane stumbles a little bit on this play. So he doesn't really get the full leverage that he usually does. But it's Patrick Kane. He doesn't care. He does not care about who he is going up against. He's going to reach into that bag of tricks and pull out a highlight reel goal that he pulled back over half a decade ago. In a 7-1 slaughtering of the Dallas Stars in what I think was 2013. I'm not sure. Fact check me on that in the comments if I got that wrong. Patrick Kane pulls off a spinorama goal around a Stars defender and past the Stars goaltender. A fantastic highlight reel goal, one of Kane's most famous goals. And he just duplicated it here against the Hurricanes. I don't know what happened, how he did this, but the man just spinorama beats James Reimer, and all of a sudden the Hawks are on the board here after a pretty uninspiring first half of this game. They're only within one. What a play by Patrick Kane. Spinorama. It doesn't get any better than that. We have a highlight reel goal in the last game from Philip Kurashev, and in this one we have another highlight reel goal from Patrick Kane. A spinorama. That was a really bad imitation of a hockey stick. I'm just going to say that right now. That was awful. Now, under 30 seconds to go. The Canes commit a penalty. It's a delayed penalty, so Lankinen naturally comes out. We get an extra attacker. Kane dumps it off for Kampf. Kampf goes inside to the slot from Ian Mitchell. He moves and walks in, fires on Reimer, and scores! Tie game 2-2 with just over 10 seconds to go in the second period. Wow, we're tied going intermission. So the Hawks commit a penalty. About a couple minutes into the third period here, and the Canes go on the power play. On that power play, just a handful of seconds in, it's Gardner to Natchez, and Natchez fires it on the net. It gets popped up by a Hawks player before it gets to the net. It rings off the crossbar. DeHaan tries to whack at it with his stick. Probably would have been a high stick if he doesn't end up hitting it. And in the mad scramble, the puck just finds its way to the back of the net, and the Canes grab a 3-2 lead on a goal from Martin Natchez. And I know that was all off of Hawks players because Natchez was the person who initially shot the puck. If it went off of someone else, it would have been their goal. So the Hawks kind of commit an own goal, although in one of the weirdest fashions that you're ever going to see. But an own goal nonetheless. 3-2 Canes. Not even 30 seconds later, the Canes have a 2-on-1. It's Niederreiter, and he gets it to Natchez. Niederreiter makes a good move on Hawks defenders here. Gets it to Natchez, and Lankinen shuts the door with an amazing save. Kevin Lankinen keeping us in this game for as long as he can. Holds off Natchez, and Natchez won't have 2 goals in 30 seconds. Oh my goodness. Canes almost just blew the game open in less than a minute there, in less than 30 seconds. They really had a chance to blow the game open, but they just couldn't do it because Lankinen is a good goaltender. What do you know? Later in the period, the Hawks commit another penalty. Carolina goes back on the power play. About 5 minutes left. Gardner gives it to Natchez. Natchez dumps it in for Fost, who gets a quick touch to Niederreiter. Lankinen was not expecting Fost to give it to Niederreiter, and Niederreiter has a yawning, wide-open cage. He makes no mistake, and the Canes are up 2 with under 5 minutes to go on a goal from Nino Niederreiter. That's a rough goal to let up. Funnily enough, the only person on the ice to not touch that puck was Teuvo Teravainen, a former Blackhawk, and I miss him dearly still. Teuvo, please come back. And this, I don't even know. Colleton, why are you pulling Lankinen with over 3 minutes to go? You're down 2. Yeah, you haven't looked that great. Do you really need the extra attacker here with 3 minutes to go? Do you think he can last, a little bit longer? Because Jacob Slavin just banged it into your own empty net with over 3 minutes to go. It's 5-2 Carolina, and there's still 3 minutes of hockey left. This decision just still really puzzles me. I have no clue what Colleton was thinking. Wow. The Hawks did all they could to tie the game, and they let up 3 in the third period. 2 power play goals and an empty netter. This game is out of reach. For some reason, the Carolina Hurricanes committed a penalty here in the last minute. So the Hawks have a power play for the rest of the game. Kane is back by the blue line for some reason. He fires a shot on net. It's tipped in front by Carl Soderberg. He would get credit for the goal. Hawks get a nothing goal. They get a goal that really means nothing except making the game be a 2-goal game instead of a 3-goal game. That's it. Just a power play goal for Carl Soderberg. He gets the PPG, and this game is over. Carolina wins 5-3. A big step up for the Hawks after playing Columbus and Detroit. Columbus is still looking pretty good. That looks like the team that we're going to have to be facing off the most for the playoffs here. Dallas as well. Those two. Nashville's fallen off a little bit. We don't play them for another month or so. It's going to be a long time before we see the Nashville Predators again. But it's a huge step up to play the Hurricanes, especially on the road too. This was a really tough one for the Hawks to go into, especially after kind of not really looking that impressive against Detroit in a 2-game set on the road. Winning both games, yes, but they won one in overtime, and then they won one 2-0. Pretty unimpressive in a way, in a sense, because you're going up against the Hurricanes, who just completely exploited you. Took those 2 wins and said, that's a bad team. Now here's a real team. Which they make a point, because Carolina Hurricanes are a real team. Probably going to be second or third in the division. Maybe if they can pull off enough wins, they might be able to catch Tampa. I don't think it's going to happen. But the Hurricanes are definitely going to be a playoff team. Depending on how the Hawks do, if they even get to the playoffs, they could be seeing them. But if they even get to the playoffs, they'll probably be playing Tampa.
What the point is here, we played Detroit and Columbus. They're not playoff teams. We played the Hurricanes. They are a playoff team. We lost to the Hurricanes. We beat the non-playoff teams. That has to change. We have to start beating the playoff teams on a regular basis. Obviously, they're going to be a lot harder to win, but winning some key games against those teams can be really good for a resume. Continuing to win against the bad teams is a must still. You still need to beat those bad teams. You still need to beat Detroit. You still need to beat Detroit. It's one, it's Detroit. Two, they suck. You need to beat Detroit.
Well, we got this 1-game break against the Hurricanes on the road. Bit of an experience on the road against a really good team. We've had a couple of those really early in the year against Tampa and Florida. But our next 2 games are on the road in Columbus. We played the Blue Jackets just a few games ago. We know exactly what we played against them. We know how we played against them. Their lineup really hasn't changed that much. Let's go ahead and go into Columbus and get 2 wins. That'd be really good. That's the home run, obviously. Will it happen? I don't know. Could it happen? Yes. Could they get 0 points? Of course. It's the Blackhawks. We don't know still. They're really surprising a lot of folks in the NHL right now with how well we've been performing. Could we start on a free fall starting here? Absolutely. Could we continue winning ways? Also, absolutely. It's all going to depend. There's no telling what's going to happen these next handful of games. We could just fall apart, but we could also continue our hot streak. Anyways, that's going to do it for this one. If you like this video, make sure you give it a like. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And I will see you guys next time. See ya.